So my name is Rob Maesaka, and I've been teaching at Wydown Middle School for the past 25 years. The first 9 years I taught theater, and the last 16 years I've been teaching 8th grade English. You know, teachers are very passionate optimists, and they really have to be. The people that I know that sort of haven't survived in the field are because they feel like they're not making a difference for whatever reason. And how long can you do that? How long can you work at a job where you feel like you're making no difference whatsoever? So, you know, the teachers that are in this profession, they really have this kind of deep faith that their students are going to be successful. Last year I was working with a student and trying to kind of convey this idea, and she kept saying, "I can't do it." And I kept saying, "Yes, you can." And she got to the point of being very frustrated at me, and she said finally, "I keep telling you that I can't do this, and you keep telling me that I can't. Why do you keep telling me that?" And I said, "Well, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be here, you know." And that's really what teachers are, you know. They really have this belief even if the students don't. And that's really what inspires me a lot. That's what keeps me going. One of the most important things I've learned about myself is that the fastest way to get me to do something is to tell me that I can't do it, even if that person is myself. And the two things that I struggled with most were English and speaking in front of people. And so when I went to college, the first 4 years, I worked at getting my bachelor's in English, and then the next 2 years, I spent working on getting my master's in theater. So once I accomplished those two goals, I realized how important it would be for me to inspire others, like that would struggle and not really feel like they were able to do something, but just understanding how important determination and perseverance are. So in 8th grade literacy, we work all year on what we call an essential question. What does it mean to be a responsible member of a society? And a couple of weeks ago, we read a short story called The Man in the Well. And in the story, some children are playing and they find this man who's trapped in this well. So these children begin to go to the nearest house, and then somewhat randomly they decide to stop and they decide they're not going to help this man. So when the students and I discuss that, do they have a responsibility to help this man in the well? So every year, about 50% of the class says no. The children have no responsibility to this man in the well. Because if they say that the children have a responsibility to that man in the well, then they have a responsibility to help other people. And that's pretty frightening for them. So they will say, they should have. They'll say, it would have been a nice thing to do. But they will cling to the fact that it's not their responsibility. So I find that very challenging every year. That's my challenge, to help them understand that we do have a responsibility to one another. And if they can imagine a society where everyone is only concerned for themselves, that would be a very bad society, and one that I would not like to visit, much less live in. So that's my goal for the end of the year. You know, the world and the society that we live in, I feel, has so many issues, and I have trouble watching the news a lot of times. And I just don't think that the solution is going to be in some of the advancements that we often advertise. Like the answer to our problems are not going to be in the next iPhone or the self-driving cars and things like that. But, you know, when I think about the humanities are what allow us to research and learn from the past, and they allow us to hold up a mirror to the present and analyze it, and then, you know, if we let it, it helps us to formalize these ideas of the future and plan. So I think that's the power of the humanities. You know, they give us the tools that we need to arm ourselves for the future.